We're going to begin in about 3 to 5 minutes. We're just waiting on one more person. Okay, so the seat's there if anybody wants to sit in the seat. But about 3 to 5 minutes from now, we'll begin. Okay, great. We're ready to start. Thank you for your patience. And so, good morning, everyone. I am Peter Zanoni, the city manager for the city of Corpus Christi. And before we begin, I want to thank the media that's here today covering this very important story for the region. The city's, one of our business principles is transparency, openness, and inclusion. And we have our own channels to help keep the community engaged and informed, but we rely on the media as well. So we want to thank the print media, electronic media, and our news stations that are here this morning covering the story. So today we're here to provide you an update with our water situation. Our combined western reservoir levels, as we know, have been continuously dropping. Yesterday, as we do each week, we met with the National Weather Service. We have a weekly briefing to see the short, near, and long-term forecast. And their forecast for all three of those, the near, short, and long-term, does not show significant rain for the region, which is a problem. So as we are aware, the city has been in stage 1 water restrictions since June 14, 2022. That's 636 days. So almost 2 years we've been in stage 1. That is because of a severe drought in the Nueces River watershed that feeds our biggest supply of water. So Lake Corpus Christi and Choke Canyon fell below 40% on Sunday. They've been in that range. Actually, they fell below 30%. They have been below 40% in that stage 1 for that 636 days. So now we are below that 30%, and we gave the community and ourselves kind of a little bit more leeway, where Sunday, when we dropped to 29.9%, we said, let's give it one more day just to make sure, because sometimes wave action and wind can have an impact on the reading barometers. But yesterday, again, we're at 29.9% or 29.4%. So we are now going to follow what's in the City Council approved drought contingency plan, and that is to activate stage 2 water restrictions. So with this press briefing here today, this is the official declaration of stage 2 water restrictions for the city of Corpus Christi, and also for our partners who buy water from us, and Drew will talk about how they will follow stage 2 water restrictions. As the drought management plan requires, I have been in constant contact with the City Council, and so this is not my decision alone, but rather in consultation with the mayor and the City Council, and it's consistent with approved council policy in that drought management plan. So let's just remind ourselves what stage 2 water restrictions are. And so the biggest change is the use of irrigation systems. And we know it's not just residential homes that use irrigation systems. It's multifamily complexes, it's commercial properties, it's even industrial users. Our large volume users have irrigation systems to keep their facilities green with landscaping. So the change is that right now we're in once a week watering with stage 1 with an automatic system. The stage 2 water restrictions will be once every other week. So 2-week span before you can re-irrigate your landscaping. There is a schedule online that you can access to see when is my every other week watering. And you can look at cctexas.com to figure that out because it's different depending on if you have commercial, residential. It's, the residential is easier because you water when you put out your trash. But for commercial or a large volume user, they don't have city service. So we encourage everyone to go to cctexas.com or call 311 to see when is your day to water every other week. We also, as Drew will mention, we're relying on our private partner, our partners, not private, our partners who buy water from us to follow suit. And they have done this before without any issue. And so we're confident that they will do the same. That includes San Patricio Water District, Nueces County Water Control and Improvement District number 3, Nueces County Improvement and Control District number 4, Violet Water Supply Corporation, and cities who are here with us today, including Alice, Beeville, and Mathis. So the city will continue as we have, especially in the past 2 years, to provide additional education and outreach to the community. We know that people can forget about when is my watering day. They can forget we're in stage 2. They could leave town. Anything could happen. So we will continue to educate the community on the severity and the requirements of the stage 2. However, after a few chances, maybe if persons forget once and we remind them, and a second time maybe, after several times of violating the stage 2 water restrictions, we will have the ability to issue a citation up to $500 per occurrence. So rainfall will need to replenish our reservoirs in order to get out of the stage 2 water restriction that we're in today. And today we're just below 30%. Based on council policy, we need to get above 40% to get out of stage 2. So we're hopeful that will happen in the near future. We know that April and May historically are good months for rain for the region. However, as I mentioned, that forecast puts a little bit of a damper on that. The point is we may be in stage 2 for some time to come. And the reason we're in stage 2 is to conserve water. Everybody has to be mindful of this. We have to work as a community. It's not the industry against the resident or commercial against resident. Everybody's in this together. We all use the same water. And so this measure of going into stage 2 has to be accepted by everybody so that we can conserve water to get through what could be a very dry spell. Now, we do have some good news, and that is that we are moving forward with producing more water, securing more water for the region. And so as I mentioned to one of the media outlets this morning, we can't control the weather, right? We've said this before at City Council. We can't control the weather. But what we can control are our actions and our decisions and our analysis and our choices. And so we are confident that this City Council will continue to make the right decisions to bring more water to the region. And so let me remind you of some of those projects that are underway with the analysis and action at City Council. That includes improvements right here behind me at our own Stevens water treatment plant. In fact, next Tuesday at City Council, there's an $80 million project to do a significant enhancement to the treatment plant. So improvements to the treatment plant, improvements to the Mary Rose pipeline, over time will bring an additional 30 million gallons to the region, to our supply. 30 million gallons by making improvements to the Mary Rose pipeline and the treatment plant behind me. This will take resources, financial resources. It may mean a rate increase, but we need more water. Now, secondly, and maybe even more importantly, is seawater desalination. The City Council took historic votes in the past 2 months to accelerate this project more than ever before. That is the Inner Harbor Seawater Desalination project that will produce 30 million gallons of water. We are in a 6-7 month time frame to select a design builder who will be selected to design and then build the plant, bringing 30 million gallons of fresh water to our region. Additionally, we know the City Council approved a long time ago a second site location, and that is the La Quinta site, and that is in the permitting process. In fact, there's a public hearing coming up, and that will produce 40 million gallons once that project's brought online. That's a longer term project, but the planning is underway and the permitting process is underway. Thirdly is Evangeline groundwater. The city has been for close to 2 years working in earnest with the Evangeline group to have access to 24 million gallons of water from that groundwater source in 2 different phases, 12 million and then an additional 12 million. So in summary, the city is looking at 4 new water sources when you consider the 2 seawater desalination projects, the Evangeline groundwater project, and improvements to the Mary Rose and the Owen Stevens. When you total all those up, like Michael Gibson did recently, that's 125 million gallons of water, more than what we have today. That's double what we have today. But we are confident based on the growth that we see, based on the prospects who we talk to almost weekly, that we need that water. And today is indicative of that, entering stage 2. As I said just yesterday, nobody wants to be in stage 1, nobody wants to be in stage 2. We're in the water planning, production, distribution business. We don't want to tell our customers you can't use water. And so we have to continue to be strong in making right decisions. We have to continue to provide good information to the City Council, who ultimately has to approve a lot of these initiatives to move forward. So with that, in closing, I did want to highlight one of the important aspect to our water, and that's our people. That's our Corpus Christi water staff, many of whom are right behind us today in blue shirts. I want to remind those that are here today in the region that our team from Corpus Christi Water produce fresh, reliable, superior rated water every day for over 500,000 people. They are the true professionals who are highly credentialed and highly certified to do this type of work. It's often taken for granted. We wanted to come to Owen Stevens today. This is the city's only water treatment plant. But the team that's behind me are remarkable in their skill and remarkable in their commitment to water production and to the region. So I want to thank them personally this morning and let them know that we have high confidence in them and we continue to rely on them every day. So with that, let's have Mayor Guajardo come up. She's going to say a few words as well. I also want to recognize Councilman Barrera, City Council District 3. He is one of our council members that made it here this morning. Thank you, Councilman. Mayor?
Good morning. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Peter. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, well, good morning, everyone. And thank you again for joining us here at the Owen Stevens Water Treatment Plant, our single water treatment plant for the entire region. And as your mayor, I stand before you today with a sense of duty and a sense of responsibility and a commitment to safeguard our city's future. Our beautiful coastal city is enduring yet another prolonged period of drought. Given this, we must take the necessary actions to overcome our water scarcity. Water from the Nueces River is pumped to this treatment plant, and it accounts for the current water supply, or 85 to 90 million gallons of water per day. Today, the combined capacity for our reservoirs to the west that feed the Nueces River stand at 29.9%. So this places, as you just heard, it places us well into stage 2 drought conditions, and it puts our community in a situation that is not sustainable long term. We must act swiftly and decisively to ensure a sustainable water supply for us today and for generations to come. In a moment, you'll hear from our COO of Corpus Christi Water, Drew Moley, with some more details and specifics on our situation. He'll talk about some measures that we'll be taking to conserve water. These measures are essential to conserve water and to mitigate the impact of continued drought conditions. This is something that we can all play a role in. Water conservation is very important to the equation, but our projected water needs call for us to expand and diversify our water resources, as you just heard Peter Zanoni speak about. This is why the city continues to diligently pursue the seawater desalination plant that you just heard about. So I want everyone to know, in addition, you hear a lot about the desalination plant, and that is the focus, so that we don't find ourselves in a situation as we do today. But in addition to that, we can't forget that we are also making infrastructure investments, including upgrading our existing water treatment plant behind us, assessing the Mary Roads pipeline, which is also essential and will give us a huge addition of water, and exploring groundwater options that you also just heard about. I want you all to know that today is a critical day. It really is. We stand at a crossroads here in Corpus Christi, and my hope is that we can unite in our commitment to water conservation, continued resilience, and of course building and continuing to diversify our water resources and our water supply. So by working together, I know that we can secure a thriving future for our beloved city. So I want to thank you all for doing your part. Here in the next weeks to come, you're going to continue to hear from us to let you know where we stand. Every single day is critical. Every day that we look at those percentages means something for us. And all of us can do our part. Everyone in their homes can do our part in conserving water and making certain that you're aware of how critical this day is. But as you just mentioned, you can rest assured that our team is laser focused on continuing to move forward. Peter Zanoni, as the city manager, continues to do that. Our city council is laser focused on making certain that we are watching what's happening here. Again, this emphasizes and just reiterates the importance of securing an uninterruptible source of water. So with that, I want to thank you all, and I want to thank everyone in advance for your efforts in moving us together, forward together, and making certain that we all do our part. We conserve and we abide by the stage 2 water restrictions, which you just heard, where every other week on your trash day, as opposed to every week on your trash day, you can water. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and invite Drew Molly up to give you a little bit more details. Thank you. Thank you, Drew. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mary, for those insightful comments. My name is Drew Molly. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Corpus Christi Water. Our group's #1 goal is to provide safe, reliable drinking water to our community. Our entire drinking water system, as we've just talked about, depends on rainfall to keep our lakes and rivers full, and this is simply not occurring. Today is a reminder of how important it is to secure other supplies of water besides water from lakes and rivers. Lakes and rivers depend on rainfall to fill them. We are not collecting enough rainfall to sustain the supplies we need to live and grow. The levels of our current water supplies in the Nueces River Basin are at some of the lowest historical levels we have ever seen for the first time this year. At a time when seasonally these reservoirs should be more full, they are not, which means we are entering the summer season with far lower water supplies than where we have stood in previous decades. As a city, we have invested almost 2 decades of discussion and research into securing a drought-proof water supply like that from seawater and groundwater sources. Now is the time to aggressively implement these new supplies with more vigor and tenacity than ever before. We know that our city has partners across the region to help us deliver water, whether it's raw water or treated water. I would like to recognize a few of these folks that are here today. So actually sitting in the front row, we have Cedric Davis. He's a city manager with the city of Mathis. We have Scott Mack. Where is Scott? I saw Scott earlier. Scott's sitting in the second row. He's our district manager for the Water Control and Improvement District for District 4. We have Brian Williams for San Patricia Municipal Water District. And then finally, we have Michael Esperza, city manager for the city of Alice. So really appreciate y'all being here today as partners with us. We recognize that the city of Corpus Christi, we have an awesome responsibility, and I know you feel the same. And we look forward to working collaboratively even more with you going forward. And in fact, I think it's important to note that in fact next week, we've got a meeting where we're going to meet at the Wesley Seals Dam, and we're going to talk about a number of projects that are important to all of us, not to mention the fact that we will work hard to increase even more the collaborative spirit that we have amongst ourselves. So we look forward to that meeting next week. I'd also like to recognize a few other regional partners who we work with often. They aren't here today, or at least I don't think they are here, but the South Texas Water Authority, Violet Water Supply, the Robstown Water District, Water Control Improvement District 3, and then of course the City of Beeville. We would also, of course, like to recognize and thank our partners at the National Weather Service, who offer a tremendous amount of expertise to our city teams when it comes to weather prediction and forecasting. As the city manager described, Stage 2 water restrictions apply to outdoor watering use. Automated irrigation activities are limited to once every other week on trash pickup days. We know that as a region, we are all in this together. As stated earlier, we have some of our regional water partners with us today. And I think it's imperative that we all hold each other accountable to ensure that our customers follow our respective drought contingency plans. We didn't get here today alone, and we're not going to solve the challenges of today alone either. It will take continued leadership and hard work from all of us, but we can and we will secure more supplies of water for our community and for our region. And with that, I just want to say a big thank you for everybody being here today, and that concludes our remarks for today. Thank you. You gonna make some comments? Okay.
Good morning, Logan Cobbs, Director of Communications. I just want to reiterate a thank you for all of those that attended, and thank our media partners for attending as well. So this concludes our official news conference, but we will open it up to any questions that the community may have or our media partners. All right, hearing no questions, that does conclude our news conference, and all of our speakers will be available for questions and interviews afterwards. Thank you.